I'm going to have to let you go, Ben. Your role no longer aligns with our operational focus. That's what Troy Manning said. No warning, no meeting with HR, no buffer from legal. Just those words like he was reading off a script he didn't write. I didn't ask why. I didn't bring up the night I stayed until 3 a.m. fixing the back-end crash that would have killed our contract with Morrison Freight. I didn't mention that I'd trained half the people still on the payroll. I didn't even tell him my daughter Sophie was starting her senior year, and we still had 9 years left on the mortgage. Let me back up a bit. My name's Ben Walsh. I'm 44 years old. Been a senior software engineer at Bridgepoint Systems for 17 years. Started there fresh out of college when they still had cubicles and dial-up modems in the back office. I've seen this company through 4 different CEOs, survive the Y2K panic when everyone thought the world would end, made it through the dot-com crash when half our clients disappeared overnight, and rebuilt our entire security infrastructure after 9/11 when paranoia became a business requirement. Here's what you need to know about those 17 years. I wasn't just another code monkey. I was part of the team that kept Morrison Bank's ATMs running during Y2K while everyone else was panicking about the Millennium Bug. I designed the disaster recovery system that saved us during the Northeast blackout of 2003. When our biggest client, Hartwell Insurance, got hit by that nasty SQL injection attack in 2009, I was the one who rebuilt their entire data architecture from scratch in 72 hours. Troy Manning was CEO number 5. He came from Deakin Tech 6 months ago with an MBA from Wharton and a team of his own people. Said he was going to modernize our approach, streamline operations, bring fresh thinking. What he really meant was fire anyone who remembered how things used to work and replace them with his buddies from his old company. I just nodded when he delivered the news, stood up and walked out. 17 years, and that's how it ended. No thank you, no handshake, no severance beyond what the law forced them to give. I packed up my desk in less than 10 minutes. The room got quiet like someone had died. Eyes snapped back to screens. Keyboards got real busy. Nobody wanted to catch my look. Rick Palmer was the only one who came over. We'd worked side by side for 8 years, built 3 major systems from scratch, covered for each other through countless late nights and weekend emergencies. Rick had this nervous habit of clicking his pen when he was stressed, and I could hear it from across the room. He leaned in and kept his voice low. Dude, this isn't about performance. Troy's replacing legacy staff with his own guys. All of them from Deakin. I nodded. Couldn't speak yet. Rick looked like he wanted to say more, but backed off. Smart move. I wasn't in a talking mood. My hands were shaking, and I couldn't tell if it was rage or adrenaline or just the realization that everything I had built here was about to disappear. I took one last look around the open floor. The fake plants that nobody watered anymore. The same motivational posters about innovation and teamwork that had been there since Clinton was president. The little whiteboard by the kitchen where I'd drawn a smiley face every Friday for years, trying to keep morale up during the rough patches. Nobody looked up. I walked out with a half-used coffee card, a framed photo of Sophie from her debate team championship, and that knot in my chest that felt like shame but was something deeper. I sat in my truck in the parking garage, gripping the wheel like it might give me answers. The engine was off, but I wasn't ready to drive home yet. Kate was at the college teaching back-to-back literature courses. Sophie wouldn't be home from school for another hour. The house would be dead quiet, and for some reason that felt worse than if they'd been waiting inside. At 44, getting fired isn't just about hurt pride. It's about numbers that don't lie. 9 years left on a $340,000 mortgage in a neighborhood where the property taxes alone run $8,000 a year. Sophie's senior year, then college applications. She's got her sights set on Northwestern for their journalism program. Tuition there runs $65,000 a year. We've got maybe half of that saved up in her 529 plan. Kate's teaching salary covers groceries and utilities, maybe the car payments if we're careful. My paycheck was everything else. The health insurance for the family runs $1,800 a month. The 401k contributions we'd been maxing out for the past 5 years. The emergency fund we'd been building for 15 years, sitting at about 6 months of expenses if we lived like monks. Let me put this in perspective. In our neighborhood, I'm surrounded by guys who sell medical devices or run regional sales territories. They make good money, but they understand job security is a myth. We've all watched neighbors pack up and move when the economy shifted or companies got acquired. The difference is most of them have portable skills. Sales guys can sell anything. I'm a 44-year-old software engineer in an industry that thinks anyone over 35 is past their prime. I'd missed birthdays, anniversary dinners, weekend trips we planned but never took. Sophie's debate tournaments, her soccer games, parent-teacher conferences. All for what? A 2-sentence conversation and a cardboard box. My phone buzzed. Text from Kate. Hey babe, everything good? Department meeting ran long. I stared at the screen for longer than I should have before typing back. Got fired today. The dots appeared, then stopped. Appeared again, then nothing for a full minute. I knew she was probably sitting in her car in the faculty parking lot, trying to process what this meant for our family. Finally, want me to come home? I wanted to say yes. I wanted her there, even if it was just to sit in the same room and not talk. But I knew what that meant. She'd cancel her evening class, and that was $180 we couldn't afford to lose now. Every dollar mattered until I figured out what came next. No, we need the money. I'm fine. I hit send and regretted the last part immediately. I wasn't fine. I felt like a shell of a man sitting in his own truck, wondering if I'd just wasted nearly 2 decades building something that was never mine to begin with. Inside the house, the silence hit me like a physical weight. No laughter, no footsteps, no clicking of Kate's laptop from her desk in the den where she graded papers and prepped lessons. Just the hum of the refrigerator and the sound of my keys dropping into the bowl by the door. I walked straight to the kitchen and fired up the coffee machine. Routine, muscle memory. The smell hit fast, but I already knew I wasn't going to drink it. My stomach was a fist. I sat at the kitchen table, opened my laptop, and stared at the blank resume document like it had personally insulted me. That little cursor just blinked and blinked, mocking me for even thinking I had something relevant to say. 17 years of experience, and I couldn't figure out how to start the first sentence. How do you summarize keeping a company's infrastructure running while the world changed around you? The phone started buzzing around 4 p.m. Word travels fast in our industry, especially when someone with my reputation suddenly becomes available. Mike Torres from Data Flow, where I'd done some consulting 3 years back when they were migrating to cloud infrastructure. Sarah Kim from TechCore, who'd tried to recruit me twice over the past 5 years. Ben heard about Bridgepoint. Complete garbage move. We're expanding our cloud infrastructure team if you're interested. Base salary around $140,000, full benefits, probably looking at $160,000 with bonuses. Good offers, decent money, especially compared to sitting on unemployment, but not life-changing money. Not the kind that makes you forget about getting stabbed in the back by people you trusted. Not the kind that puts Sophie through Northwestern without debt or pays off the mortgage early or lets Kate finally write that novel she's been talking about for 10 years. That night I didn't eat.